That's what you get.
That was actually really close, Mike.
Welcome to D-League BP. I'm Michael, and I want to talk about practice. Yeah, you heard me right, practice. We're talking about practice. And more specifically, we're talking about batting practice. And I want to give you some ideas for how you can get more out of your BP sessions. So right off the jump, if you're a guy that a guy or a gal, and you're out there and you're already hitting, you got an on-base percentage of 700, you're slapping the ball wherever, you're hitting home runs. This video is probably not for you. You're out of my league at the moment. This is for everybody else that maybe you're just getting back into the game. Maybe, you never played before and you're trying to figure this out. Or you woke up one day like me and you realize you're just a mediocre player at best on a good day and you just want to be better at a game you really enjoy playing. Well, this video is for you guys. This video is to help you get more out of your batting practice sessions, because I think we get caught up in the idea that we go out there with our buddies and we take a bunch of daddy hacks trying to hit a home run, and we all applaud when somebody hits a ball, really well, but in all honesty, it was probably just a fly out the left center. So let's talk about ways that you can improve your practice so that you can improve your game day hitting. So let's get to it. All right, guys, first and foremost, can't stress this enough because it is tip number one. I'm leading off with it. Get a pitching screen. Man, screens are portable. They're fairly inexpensive. They only take a few minutes to put up, and they might really save you or one of your teammates or your pals from a serious injury out there. There's no reason for any of us to get hurt. Go watch any one of these channels where people are doing bat reviews and batting practice, and you will see in each and every one of them, we're all standing behind screens, and there's a reason for that. So get a screen, and more importantly, get behind it. Literally. Let's just all get behind a pitching screen. All right, tip number two. If you can, and if you need it, invest in a pitching machine. Now, if you have a full team of cornhole champions that just can throw in some nice juicy pitches for you each and every time, maybe you don't need one. But for, I think, most people, a pitching machine really will come in handy, because we only have one or two guys can really throw strikes on a regular basis. And they don't always show up for batting practice, or even if you're like me and you show up for batting practice, I don't want to pitch to everybody on the team. So having a pitching machine really, really helps. Now, we invested in the Blue Flame pitching machine by Louisville Slugger, and it's really helped us overall. First, you don't have to have, like I said, you don't have to have a pitcher at BP. Anyone can operate the pitching machine. And second, once you get it dialed in, you can play a little bit with inside pitches, outside pitches. You can change how the ball lays on the arm, and it'll throw a little deeper or a little shallower. But you get a steady diet of drivable pitches. You get a whole bunch of strikes, and that allows you to focus more on your mechanics. Those things that you're doing maybe off the tee to become a better hitter, now you can actually try them during batting practice, because you're not just trying and hoping you're going to get a strike. You're going to get a strike, so now you can just focus on hitting and driving that ball. And finally, I think with each and every one of us who have used the Blue Flame recently, what we really found, surprisingly, is it's helped with pitch recognition, because we know what a good pitch looks like. We see it over and over in batting practice, what a strike looks like. And so that's the ball we're looking for. And when we see that ideal pitch come in, we're ready to step into it and drive it. So if you can, and if you need it, get yourself a pitching machine. All right, guys, my third tip is keep it in the park. I mean, yeah, home runs are a lot of fun, and I take my fair share of healthy hacks when I'm out there at batting practice, but I know that's not helping me become a better game day hitter. In particular, because my rec league only allows for 2 home runs. Everything after that's an out. So what good does it do to figure out how to hit a home run every single time if that's all I can do? I really need to be able to hit the ball into the gaps, and I need to be able to hit base hits. So learn how to take game swings, learn how to hit base hits. Ideally, you want to hit the ball hard. You want to drive it over the infielder's head, but drop it just in front of the outfielders. And if the outfielders creep up, you want to be able to drive the ball to the fence and over their head. But you want to keep the ball in the park. I'm really fond of saying on game days, base hits until we win. Base hits until we win. Because honestly, it's demoralizing when a team goes up there and they just continuously get base hit after base hit after base hit. You can see the heads drop of the opposing team. It happens all the time. You can base hit your way to wins. So if that's what you can do, then why not practice that? Go out to the field on actual, during your batting practice sessions, and don't focus on hitting home runs. Focus on hitting the ball safely for singles, doubles, triples, those things. Keep the ball in the park. And once you feel really good, maybe at the end of batting practice, maybe after you hit 10 really good balls in a row, let it rip. See if you can hit that home run, because after all, a home run or two during batting practice is good for the old ego. All right, so this next tip is just a follow-up kind of on that previous tip, but I wanted to separate them out. And that is, I want you to use the entire field. Batting practice is just that. It's practice. And this is your opportunity to work on things you may not be very good at. So even if you are terrible at hitting the ball the opposite field, I want you in batting practice to give it a shot. Set the pitching machine up and have it throw you a bunch of outside pitches, and then try to drive those to the opposite field. Or, occasionally just back off the plate a little bit so you're not so close, and try to drive the ball to the opposite field. If you're not very good at hitting the ball, maybe pulling it down the line, the third base line if you're a right-handed batter, try that. Get your buddy to throw you some inside pitches. Try to turn on them and rip them down the third base line. Work on things you're not very good at. I want you to use the entire field, and I mean the entire field to your advantage. And I can hear some of you already rumbling and grumbling out there, and you're saying, "Hey, man, if I try to hit the ball the opposite field, I'm just going to hit it back up the middle. I'm going to hit the pitcher. I don't want to hit the pitcher. I don't want to practice hitting back up the middle. I'm going to drive it, and I'm going to hurt somebody." Listen, man, if you paid attention earlier in tip number 1, your pitcher should be behind a screen and should be protected. So that's your opportunity during practice to learn how to hit the ball everywhere, so that you can become really, really confident in your ability to drive the ball all over the field. And then once you're really good and confident during practice that you can take that outside pitch and drive it over to the right fielder, you can take that inside pitch and drive it right down the third base line, or you're really good and you can cut that ball or lift that ball and make sure that every time you hit the ball back up the middle, it goes up and not down. That's when you can break those things out in a game and you can really start to improve on game days. So you want to become a better hitter during batting practice, use the entire field. All right, guys, my final tip, my final idea on how to make your batting practice sessions better. And that is for you to practice not swinging. Batting practice is absolutely your best opportunity to work on your swing. It's also your best opportunity to work on your pitch selection. So even if you have a pitching machine, maybe take some live pitches, or have your batting practice partner move that pitching arm inside, outside a little bit, or maybe not push that pedal all the way down so it throws them short. And have him mix in a few balls from time to time so that you're not always swinging at great pitches and you can identify them and lay off. That's how you're going to become a much better hitter. On your live BP, man, if the ball is a ball, let it roll to the back. Just let it roll to there's no shame in picking up 20 balls from the backstop. They're a lot easier to pick than balls that are hit over the fence. So, be picky during batting practice. And I guess my final tip in this is that at the end of batting practice, it's kind of helpful sometimes to do a couple, 2, 3, 4 simulated at bats. Start with a 0-0 count. If you're in a league with a 1-1 count, start with a 1-1 count. But just start with your actual count and start taking pitches as if it was an actual game instead of batting practice, and find you a good drivable ball to hit. And so that will absolutely help you work on your patience. It'll help you work on your pitch selection, and it will make you a better hitter. So as much as you work on your swing, work on not swinging as well. All right, guys, and that's it. Those are my 5 ideas on how to get more out of your batting practice session. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that like button. And if you really like what's kind of content, you make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, hit that subscribe button. And if you got something to add to the conversation, man, hit those comments below. I love to hear from you guys. But until I do that next video, until I come back, keep doing your thing. Peace.